how's it going, y'all? Want to jump on here and do a quick video because on our last video I said I had a big announcement that I couldn't talk about, and now the world knows that the Olight PLX was dropped at SHOT Show. One of the influencers that we partner with, he's another YouTuber named Doug. He told us about this light because he got it to test it. So he sent it. I'm getting it scanned right now, so I have it digitally. I got mine in. I ordered it literally the first day that they dropped them out. So we got a mold created. This one is going to be, the first one out of the shop is going to be for our buddy James. He's with Tactical Bearded Dad. He's got his own YouTube channel as well. So he's going to knock this out. He's running a Glock 45 with the new PLX. So we're going to knock that out in a custom print. The last video that I did, the guys were asking if they could see the sublimation process and also the removal of the mold. So I'm going to go over that a little bit today. So I'm going to screen record. I apologize about my voice. I have been down this week. I got a bug that put me on my ass, but I'm back in the shop today. So just bear with me with my me getting my voice back. But yeah, let's get this knocked out. Glock 19 with the PLX. We're gonna do a custom print, IWB, and I'm gonna record the Photoshop process of how I prep the print, and then I'll also video the sublimation and the mold removal, because I don't think I've done that yet. It's pretty easy, y'all. The 3D molds, a lot of people tape them with the, do I have any? Yeah. They tape them with the silver tape. It is a pain in the ass to get that down in all these crevices. So what I do, buddy of mine, he's also a holster maker. He told me about this spray right here. So I spray them down. If you see in the videos, you'll notice that there's like a white film on the molds. It's a dry film lubricant, and you spray it on there, and it kind of acts as like a releasing agent. The other thing that I do as well that I'm going to show you guys, but it's going to go quick, so I'm going to explain it now. You can see that I drill a hole in the top of all my molds. Yes, it's so I can hang them, but it's also the exact same diameter as my air nozzle. So what I do, when I take them off the press, I take a punch and I push it through and kind of dimple this out a little bit so it's not sucked down in that hole. And then I cool the sight channel and stuff so I don't lose my retention. And then I stick my air nozzle in there and I blow in it a little bit, and it kind of pops the Kydex off the mold. Now, with 3D printing, as opposed to CNC, you can go CNC, you're going to spend more money, but you don't run into the issue I'm about to tell you about. Occasionally, it will stick a little bit, and you'll bust off like a corner of like a high point. It happens. With CNC, you don't run into that, but you got the overhead of the CNC, and then the material's more expensive. I don't really care. If I bust a corner off one of these molds, I'll throw it in the trash and I'll print another one for $6. Like, so you really have to decide on what you want to do. Once you get it down, like I've gotten it down pretty well, so I know how I need to bevel my edges so that I don't have those high points where they stick, but it does occasionally happen. You know, I could touch the mold and take some of the film off, the releasing agent off, so it sticks right there and it kind of pops it off. I could fill it with steel stick and fix it, but I mean, next time I get an order, I'll just print another one. That's kind of the way I look at it. But with my molds, my print setting is, because I had somebody ask me this as well, I do 8 wall loops. My top shell layers is 10, with the top paint penetration layers at 5. Bottom shell layers I do 5, and then I do 40% infill, and I do the rectilinear fill is what I fill it with, and I don't really have an issue when it comes to the stuff. Hold on one second. Ainsley. She's been asking. This is Ainsley. This is my youngest. And she just wanted to pop in here and say hi. Say hi. All right. Off you go. Tape. Okay, I'll get you some tape in a minute. Off you go. So, we're going to get that printed up. Or we're going to get the custom print printed. And then we'll go from there. So, I'll get back with y'all. I'm going to screen record and I'll talk y'all through it. Okay. So here we are. I use Photoshop for all of my sublimation stuff. There are some free programs out there for when you're first starting out. I just found the Photoshop is the best one for me. All right, so you can see our last print we did, Garbage Pail Kids one. We were gonna video that one, but I did it when I was sick, and I literally had no voice. So we're gonna open, and I really need to organize my prints, but I've been way too busy to do that. So, James is going to do the Valley Tactician, the VT graffiti print. So, we have it. First thing we want to do, and I've done this countless times and forgot, is we need to flip it. So, we're going to go to edit, because it's like the mirror effect. When you go to do your sublimation, it's going to print it in reverse, like a mirror. So, I'm going to go to edit, transform. We're going to flip it. That way it's backwards on the print, and it will sublimate the right way. So, now that we got that done, the V and T really wouldn't matter much. You wouldn't think, but you can definitely tell. Just the way that the lettering is, it looks kind of funny. But with you guys saw with the P and Pools one, definitely have to flip any lettering or anything like that. But we're gonna go over here, and you can mess with your color and stuff like that and change it however you want. I already have this one kind of the way that I wanted it, but no matter what, every print you have to adjust your vibrance. When you do that, it's going to change the color a little bit. So you can see I'm going to kind of brighten it up a little bit with the saturation without losing too much of the color. And then I'm going to really hit the vibrance a lot. What that does is it puts more ink on the sublimation printer paper, which means more ink going into the Kydex, which makes the color pop a lot more. Also, most of the time I sublimate on the carbon fiber. The reason I do that is because the carbon fiber makes the color pop a little bit more. Unless it's a print that I kind of want subdued or a little distressed, then I'll do it on the non-carbon fiber, the standard Kydex. But most of my prints, you guys have noticed, I do on carbon fiber just because it makes the color pop a lot more. But we got it flipped. We got the vibrance adjusted. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to print. And I use the Epson EcoTank 15,000. It's just the printer that was recommended to me when I first started doing this. Iggy over at Faltac was a huge help with the information on that. But I'm going to do a 12 by 12. And then a couple other things for our sublimation settings. High premium presentation paper matte. You can see there's multiple types. This is very important. You will have quality issues if you do not change this. The other thing you can do to help with your quality issues, it depends. I think I've had one or two prints where I needed to turn off the bidirectional printing. But the bidirectional printing, for the most part, I don't have an issue with it, and it prints faster. There are some things, especially with really fine detail, if you turn this off, you'll get better quality. It just takes longer to print and it uses more ink, I have found. But so you can turn that off if you run into an issue. This one doesn't have very much fine detail, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to keep it on. But We're going to go ahead and print this, and then I will jump over on the press and get it heated, and I'll be back with y'all in a second, and we will go ahead and sublimate this. All right, so let's get this blocked out. We're doing an IWB. James is right-handed, so we're going to set this on here because I haven't done this one before, just to make sure. Let's use my head. Okay. So we're going to go about right there. I think these two and some of these. All right. About right there. This right here will go under there just fine. All right. That looks pretty good. Should give plenty of room for our optic cut. So, get that. And then get our old faithful blue tape out here. For you builders out there, I found these knives on Amazon. They're called Work Pro knives. Man, they are amazing. I absolutely love them. I had these cheaper ones, and Chelsea, my wife, one day I will get her in a video. When she's out here blocking, she likes the cheaper ones that I found on Amazon. These are a couple dollars more a piece, but I love the new ones that I found. But yeah, those little small knives like that, they work really well for like when you're prepping your molds and stuff like that. So yeah, if you don't like using the big razor blade knives when you're prepping just because they're too big, these Work Pro knives are absolutely amazing, and you can order the replacement blades crazy cheap. So yeah, just something for some of y'all builders out there to look at. I absolutely love them. I think I ordered like 12 of them, and I have them all over the shop now. The other ones I was using before are, I don't know if I have one over here. Yeah, I don't know where it went. But they're plastic. Like I said, my wife loves them. That's the ones that she likes using. I prefer the new ones, but she doesn't care for those very much. So I'm gonna get this turned, and then I want to make sure I don't tape over my retention point. So I'm gonna go ahead and split that off of there. What I'm gonna do, I am so excited about this new light, y'all. If I'll try and do a video on the performance of it, but I know that James and the guys Doug over at Battery of Arms, the ones who told me about the light, they're both doing reviews on it, so I'll probably I might leave that to them. But it is absolutely amazing. I gotta tell you, man, I was not a fan of Olight in the beginning of a lot of their products. I just didn't like them. I didn't like the look of them. I wasn't real impressed with the performance, and they overheated. and I didn't like that. But I picked up a pistol not long ago, and it had a O-light. It had an O-sight on it, and I loved it. I loved the recharge. That I could recharge it with the recharging hood without having to take it off. And then this light, I gotta tell you, O-light is starting to win me over. Because this thing is awesome. It has two settings. It has like a throw setting, and it throws. I took it out of my back deck the other night when I first got it because I was all giddy and excited. And man, it threw. We have about 100 acres of woods behind our house, and it threw a beam back there, man. Like it lit up the whole tree line from my deck. And then it also has one that like lights up a room. So yeah, two settings. You can adjust it with the flip switch here, or you can double click it. But it is really nice. I'm a big fan. So I'm excited to make this holster and get it tested up, and then I might have to make me a holster with this. I typically do not EDC a light. As a rule, I carry a pocket light myself, but I'm pretty won over on it. But you can see, got the blocking on there. That's all we're doing. It's just a standard Glock 19, Glock 45 with it. So we got that done. So let's get it over. The print just finished on the printer. I'm going to take y'all over there and show you. So bear with me on the jiggly on the camera view. So you can see it is off the printer. So we're going to take that. I'm going to get it trimmed up so the sheet's not so big, and then we will get it sublimated, and I'll be back with you all in a second. Okay, so I have the Kydex heating in the press right now. I just have it preheating a little bit. I'm going with white with the colorful colors we have there. We could go gray, but it'll dull out those bright colors a little bit, and I really want them to pop. So I'm going to go with white. It's one of the more complicated Kydexes to sublimate on because you got to get it really deep in there so that it doesn't discolor when you go to vac it. But I wanted to show you guys. So I have this on here. I've already sprayed it. One of the things I like to do is I just hit it with, I have my mesh down, put that on there, and then I hit it with just a couple pieces of tape so that way it doesn't move at all. You can see that I've sprayed it once. I'll hit it again with one more fresh little thin layer of that film that I told y'all about right before it goes on. But I wanted to show y'all how I prep this here. And then I'll go ahead and press this. I'm not going to speed this video up. One of the things that somebody commented on one of the videos was if we could see the whole thing in real time. So this is going to be a long video, but I'm trying to kind of give something different because people were asking for it. So you can see I got it taped here. I've already preset my jig to make sure that it's going to fit, and we're good there. Got a little bit of space on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started on sublimating. I do 365 for 160 seconds. That's what works on my press. Everybody's press is different, but that's just what works for mine. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll pop back on here right before I pull it out and show y'all how I do it. And then it's going to go really fast, and I'm not going to be able to talk much through it because the air compressor is going to get going and you're not going to be able to hear me. But you're going to see me. I have my punch here, and I have my air hose with my nozzle. You can see that it fits right in there perfectly. So when it comes out, I'm going to move the camera real quick, and then I'm going to show y'all exactly how I do it when it comes to popping the mold out. So that's going to happen pretty quick. So just bear with me and pay attention. All right, here we go. So, want to get that pulled off of there before it starts to cool, and you can't dimple out that, because if you can't do this, it's going to stick. I'm telling you right now, it's going to stick. So you want to dimple that out a little bit. You might be able to hear it. There you go. I don't know if you just heard it pop out. I know y'all can barely hear me, but you see that? I'm gonna move the camera so you can see. And there's that. You see, popped out perfectly fine. There's that. So, that's the release. I'll go ahead and jump on and I'll show you all the cutout process. All right, here we go. So let's get it cut out. So we got the rough cut out. You could do a trim jig on it. I just haven't made one for this one. So we'll get this kind of cleaned up around the edges and then we'll go over and fold it. Alright, so we're going to start heating this up to fold it. And I have a couple different site channel jigs that I use. I 3D printed mine. But we'll get this in here. I have my folding tool right here. And when you're heating this up, you want to primarily heat on the inside, moving it back and forth and corner to corner. But then once it starts to move just a little bit, go ahead and hit it on the other side real quick. Just be careful because you can burn your sublimation ink. I have made that mistake a few times. You'll know if you are because it smells horrible. So we're starting to get it where we want it. I'm going to hit this end down here just a little bit more. Okay. Get our folding tool in here. That. With our sight channel. Adjust this a little bit. There we go. We're going to squeeze that. I'm going to run over and grab the air hose real quick because I didn't bring it with me. And there we go. It is folded. So we'll go ahead and get a screw in it, and then we'll get it marked out and finish cutting it and get it wrapped up. All right. So let's get this marked out so that we can get it, the final cut done on it, and get all the finishing work done. So we're gonna cut all this excess off here. And this does have a mod wing on it, so I'm gonna make sure that I know where that is. Alright. Go ahead and cut a piece off. And then kind of angle that a little bit. And then we'll trim this down when we sand. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of this off as well. Alright, and before we forget, we need to clean our holes. So, alright, so let's go get the final cut on this, and then we'll move over to the sanders and the buffers and get this ready for hardware. we got it all buffed, cut to shape, optic cut done. So now I'm gonna get this blown off and we're gonna go over and add hardware, and we'll call James and have him come pick it up. All right, so let's just get this thing wrapped up. James likes the monoblock. That's typically what he runs. So we're gonna grab that. And that. And then for colors, I was thinking that we would change it up and do a mix of washers, considering that there's a mix of colors in the print. And maybe a gold. Let's see how that looks. The green. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do a green. All right, so go ahead and take out this screw here. My washer's running away. There we go. All right. So before we do that, let's go ahead and hit it with our rim oil. Get that wiped off. Okay, so let's get our in-house made mod wing. Ever since I started making these, I could not be happier, y'all. I was kind of skeptical on doing it at first because I was worried about the strength of them, but I have tested these things to no end, and I have not found any issues with printing the mod wings, which is awesome because that means that I don't have to wait on shipping to order a mod wing. And depending on the time of year, that's the #1 issue that we face when it comes to hardware, is stuff being in stock. So having them in stock is definitely a game changer. Nope, not blue. Let's do purple. Oh, we'll do green. Let's do green. Happy with that. We'll go ahead and tighten that down so it doesn't move. All right, so get our that washer is not one to cooperate. Toss that one out. Get the purple, red, and our spacers. Okay. And for you builders out there, I messaged the guy over at Holster Builder. Man, I ordered these spacers. I don't know if y'all have experienced this, but they're huge. Like they work just fine. It's just a pain in the ass to get them to put on. I messaged him, but he never messaged me back. So it is what it is. We're gonna use them, and might just order them through Holstersmith from now on. I ordered them through Holster Builder before, just because with the pricing I was getting, they were cheaper. But I don't know if they changed distributors or what, but the holes are a little bit bigger than normal, so you got to hold them on there. They don't just stay on like they used to. But which I'm sure any of you that order from there have already experienced it. So there we go. Got it done. I'm gonna call James and let him know that his holster's finished. But we got that. Big shout out to Battery of Arms. They're the ones that those guys over there. I'll go ahead and follow their channel on YouTube. They do a lot of reviews on lights, pistols, things like that. The thing I really like about them is that they do a lot of budget-friendly reviews when it comes to budget-friendly pistols, budget-friendly lights, things like that. They do some higher-end stuff as well, but I really like those guys over there because they're doing influencer videos for stuff that a lot of first-time gun owners are buying. So big shout out to those guys. They're the ones that sent us the lights so that we could get it scanned and start making molds. And then also, as always, big shout out to my bro over at Tactical Bearded Dad. If you have questions about any high-end 2011 build or new build coming out, this is the guy, man. His name's James. He's over at his channel's Tactical Bearded Dad. He just went to SHOT Show, gave us the scoop on a ton of new 2011s coming out. That's kind of his market, is the 2011 game. He does do a lot of stuff with other unique builders like Glock and SIG and Archon and all those people, but 2011s is his thing. So got this one for him. I'm doing one for his C2 as well that he just had a custom one done on. So if you pop over to his channel, I'm sure that he'll have that holster on there as well when I get it to him. But go follow both those guys, give them a shout out, and take a look at some of their stuff. Really doing really great things when it comes to letting y'all know what's coming and what's new. But other than that, I'm going to get back at it. I'm a little behind because, like I said, I was down and out quite a bit this week with being sick. But I'm back at it. Going to get a bunch of orders pushed out tomorrow. And I'll probably do another build this week and film that for y'all to see. But thank y'all. And as always, please keep up the support. And we'll see you on the next one.